An AEW star could be leaving the company. Also, we're going to talk about some massive changes to NXT, plus much more. Don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt at $100K. All right, guys, welcome back to the Ango Show. I want to talk to you guys about LA Knight because apparently there might be some issues backstage with LA Knight, at least according to Booker T when speaking on the Hall of Fame podcast. He said, I have heard guys say, LA Knight, he's got a bad attitude. I don't know about this guy. He's got a bad attitude. My thing is this. I've never really cared about getting heat with the boys. As long as the boss liked everything that was going on, if the boss liked it, I was cool. And it's interesting to hear this coming from Booker T. BWE tweeted out that LA Knight has zero issues and he is like self-focused and self-committed. And, you know, here's the thing, guys. LA Knight, he's killing it. He's killing it. Triple H said, good things come to those who wait. Triple H was right. LA Knight is receiving a massive push. If LA Knight has backstage heat, if he has problems with people backstage, I feel like it would be a lot more well known. I'm not saying Booker T's wrong. I'm just saying I feel like it would be a lot more well known. I think it would be a constant issue that is being talked about. The problem is, within wrestling, or within really any workplace, there's always going to be that competitiveness that exists to get the desired position that you want. There's always going to be jealousy. There's always going to be a variety of emotions when dealing with people who are accelerating at a faster rate than you. As of now, there's really been nothing to indicate that LA Knight actually has backstage heat inside the WWE. There's been no indication that there's been any issues that have been on the level of, you know, CM Punk in AEW, where there was constant reports of fighting and stuff like that. Do I believe that backstage in WWE there's jealousy? Do I believe backstage in WWE, you know, people personally, you know, would rather be in LA Knight's position than their own? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would feel that way. That's natural. That's going to happen in any workplace. You know, the thing is, LA Knight's a hell of a talent, and I hope losing to Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel actually leads to something for him. But as far as, you know, issues for LA Knight backstage in WWE, I don't think there's anything that people need to be worried about because it doesn't sound like there's any actual problems here. But Booker T's right. If he has heat with the boys, as long as the boss likes it, I mean, really, that's all that matters. And obviously, Triple H, Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, these are the guys who are paying attention to what's on TV. They got to make the right business decisions based on that. LA Knight's a top merch seller again and again and again. So at that point, it really just seems like a non-issue. Allie the Bunny apparently could be leaving AEW. Is she teasing it? There's a little bit of confusion here. Not a lot of people know what's happening, but obviously we all know that AEW departures are never announced by AEW themselves. Allie on Instagram changed her bio. So it no longer has anything to do with AEW. In fact, she's actually promoting her OnlyFans link. But she's removed AEW from her bio. And just like many of the other AEW stars in the past who have left the company, that's typically the first sign that they're no longer with the company. Now, Allie hasn't confirmed or said anything in regards to leaving AEW. The last time she was on TV was September 6th, I believe, which was an episode of Rampage. She was somebody that was utilized in the beginning of AEW, and then as time went on, she hadn't been utilized very much, which seems to be the case with a lot of people who were, you know, OG AEW signings. Allie's a great talent, man. I loved, listen, I don't know if you guys remember this, Allie, Chelsea Green, the stuff that they were doing back in Impact Wrestling years and years ago. That was some awesome stuff, man. Some really awesome stuff. And when Allie came into AEW, and obviously she's with Butcher and the Blade, like, this is a tag team, which, by the way, I thought had a lot of potential to become tag team champions. But they never been given the chance to like really show out as a tag team in the company. They're always with some weird little faction that's put together. Then they're not on TV. I mean, that right there is inconsistent booking. I mean, anybody who's watched AEW can realize that. She's a hell of a talent. She really is a hell of a talent. If she's gone from AEW, I hope that we get to see her wrestle for another company. I really do. Whether she returns to TNA, whether she goes to WWE, NXT, I mean, regardless, I would just love to see her on television. You know, this is one of those things where, like, a great talent not being given TV time, not being given the chance to do stuff, not being given a chance to show people what she can do. And the only people who really know what she could do are the people that used to watch her on TNA Impact. So the thing is, like, you got to give people opportunity. You do. And especially when it comes to the AEW women's division, you guys can say whatever you want, but like 1 or 2 segments, you have 3 shows. Like, if you're not really putting them on TV, they're never going to be given the chance. They're never going to get the chance to go over. You're never going to know what the possibilities are. And the reality is that's one of the shortcomings with AEW. So if Allie's gone from AEW, I wish her the best of luck. And if she's actually with AEW, then you know what, Tony Khan? Figure out a way. You can make it happen. Utilize her. And that brings us to our final topic of today's video, guys. WWE NXT. Yesterday, we got the groundbreaking news that they're going to be moving to the CW network in September 2024. Now, WrestleVotes put out a very interesting tweet. On the heels of the CW announcement, I'm told discussions have taken place regarding NXT's Stand and Deliver PLE scheduled for WrestleMania weekend. Those discussions have been about the placement of the show. Source states there is support for the show to open the weekend and be held on a Thursday night at Wells Fargo Center. I was told while it makes sense to some, it's not ideal for others. We'll see how it turns out. Interesting. There's a ton of rumors surrounding NXT. Especially with the CW, there is belief that maybe NXT could become a touring brand, taking the show on the road, getting another makeover for the brand, which I would be totally down for. But it really starts with Stand and Deliver. It's actually one of the best PLEs that NXT has done. Honestly, I love Stand and Deliver. Last year was phenomenal. This year, I mean, just looking at the way that stories develop and the talent that continued to, actually show progression, I'm all for Stand and Deliver. I actually like the idea of it being on a Thursday. Last year it was like in the morning. The talent had to be at the arena at 6 in the morning. The show started at 11 o'clock. Then you had night 1 of WrestleMania. It was such a long day. I do not want to deal with that again. Honestly, it was such a long day. I would love nothing more than for NXT to be on a Thursday night. Friday you have SmackDown. There's a lot of things you can do there. I can't see an issue with it. In regards to NXT making more changes to the presentation, possibly going on tour, you would be a fool not to support it. It obviously grows the brand. And obviously when they go on the CW app, CW network, it's a big change for them. And you got to change a little bit of that presentation too. So hopefully it all works out for NXT. Big things are happening right now. Obviously lots to discuss. This is the place to subscribe. Don't forget 100K subscribers. When we reach it, I'm giving away this championship belt. I appreciate you guys all for watching. Thank you.